tonight will be played by Ken Mann, a.k.a. Shiebel Jones.
Alright, let's kick it over the roll call. Socko.
Fuck you, Ed.
Tiger. Babyface. Waffle. And I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined. Welcome to WCBJ, the Comic Book Jones podcast. Coming to you from 2220 Forest Avenue, Staten Island, New York.
Yay!
To start off the podcast, I'm going to explain right now, even starting with the fact that Babyface isn't here. I took one drink already. Two, counting Socko to had to go fuck himself. I'll be playing the drinking game that Melvin sent us last week as we did the podcast.
Very exciting.
All five of us had a list in front of them.
And also, I'll tell you right now that the podcast will begin with a customer.
I don't want to play, I'm not going to play.
That's something that I didn't hear. So
play, Tiger.
Oh, I'm not in that. So go fuck yourself then.
You're down by 2.
There's not enough.
I'll go get more.
No, I don't know. What? We'll do next time.
Yeah, what,
Okay.
Tiger, can you do this with me one week? Because this would be a lot better.
What, you doing it every week?
No. Oh man, gonna be the best segment at the end. Waffle talks.
Yeah.
I open the door.
You don't hear enough of you talking during the day.
Yeah,
Well, I guess it would only work out if he's off on Thursdays.
Yeah.
I am off on Thursdays.
That's true, he is.
I told Tiger the other day.
That's why he's the perfect candidate for this.
Why do you turn into Bobcat Goldthwait?
That's just the voice.
Who is that?
That's Babyface.
The guy from Wisconsin?
Oh, I thought you meant who was talking.
And speaking of drunk,
Yeah.
Socko is fresh off his guest appearance the last night on the Super Adventure podcast.
Yes, I was. You were there.
Yes.
Waffle was there. Babyface was there.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
K-Jar.
Yeah. K-Jar was there. Everybody knows from the famous episode, My Boyfriend is Creepy. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Chris Sorrentino and John. How do you say John's last name? Zaluga.
Yeah.
John Zaluga. They host that show, and it was live at the Full Cup, and it was a lot of fun. It was fun doing a podcast with like a live studio audience. But yeah, I gave out a couple of Jones names, and
Yeah.
Drunk Uncle Jones,
Yeah.
Designated Driver Jones.
yeah.
I was also impressed with the way you deflected, or basically, there was a point where John was going off on Spider-Man, and you basically said, have you read it? No. Go fuck yourself.
Well, I didn't literally say that.
No, that was...
Very deftly.
Yeah. Very
What
proud.
was he saying about Spider-Man?
He was just saying that, like, he was kind of criticizing what they were doing right now
The
with
direction of it.
Spider-Man, the direction, and I just I answered the obvious question if you read it, and then I very politely just, made him understand that you should really read it before you.
Oh, I have to backtrack for a second. I have to take another drink because he brought up the fucking actor that no one knows.
Who?
When I said the drunk voice,
Yeah.
and when Babyface says something that confuses everyone.
Oh, that's right, because the role of Babyface, as the
I was the
announcer
only one that
said.
didn't know what that was.
I had no idea what it was.
Oh. You laughed at it.
Because it's just a ridiculous statement that drunk voice sounds exactly like somebody's particular. Because I don't know, to me that's just drunk voice.
Right.
Fucking movie reference guy.
There's a lot of rules in this drink meeting.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna be reading them over and over again terribly.
So, should we remind everyone quickly what the rules are?
Let's go down the list.
Alright, I'll read it.
Yeah, let's go, Tiger.
Alright, so the first one. Whenever the podcast opens with a customer's comment, which you heard that happen, right? Every time Tiger and Socko tell TVD to go fuck himself in the roll call.
That happened.
It did? No, he
did.
Socko's high was go fuck yourself.
Okay. Whenever one of the Fab Five is not present, you take a drink from each member that is missing. So if you take a full drink or not consider just a drink.
A drink.
Whenever you have a female guest.
Kenny.
If the female guest is a significant other, you finish your drink. Whenever the email segment contains an email from Derek Pinto, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a drink for that one.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to finish one because he still hasn't sent his.
If the email comes from Derek Pinto,
During the podcast.
yeah, for the show, you must finish your drink.
And there still isn't one, right?
No.
Okay.
Whenever Socko yells, woo!
Yeah.
Whenever Socko does his Tiger impression.
Yeah.
Whenever Tiger sounds like he'd rather not be there, it starts to get pretty sure that one won't be
That should just be an IV.
We're 5 minutes in, it's already happened.
Happened well before the 5-minute mark. when you walk in the door.
Oh my god.
Waffle is drinking.
Finally show up.
Sniper.
Alright, we also got, whenever Waffle starts to sound like an internet troll over something DC has done, they hate selling books. Whenever Babyface says something or does something creepy. I mean, Kenny looks like a child molester, so that's pretty creepy. What do you think?
Is it a beard?
It's not a beard, it's a fucking poorly maintained goatee.
It's not maintained. I call
Right, exactly. It's not maintained at all.
You're wearing a t-shirt with a fucking shirt and tie and suit
It's
on.
a Doctor Who costume.
And then it just looks like a creepy pedophile shirt to me.
It's the whole ensemble.
Yeah,
Whatever.
You took your old Babyface, you take the blows.
that's right.
Alright, we got, whenever TBD tries to distance CBJ from something with disclaimer. And then whenever Tiger Saga encourages the thing that TBD is trying to distance CBJ.
That's my favorite one. Yeah.
If TBD ever ranked a Marvel book as #1 for the DC Region Marvel, you finish your drink. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Anytime someone mentions Staten Island.
Does that count as Staten Island being mentioned right now?
Absolutely.
Oh, there you go.
So does that mean every commercial is a drink?
Almost.
Almost.
Or every intro to the podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. You owe yourself one.
Alright, we got a few more. Whenever Waffle talks about his adventures with public transportation, which Mike comes up with Waffle is drunk enough.
That's right.
Whenever Socko brings up all the countries that the podcast is listed in, and I know we have a new one.
Yes, we do. And I'll talk about that shortly.
Whenever Babyface goes off topic or says something that confuses everyone. Well, maybe.
That happens often enough.
Whenever Tiger proclaims something like he hates, i.e. old people, children, handicapped,
Etc.
Whenever TBD has to redo the ending, that'll happen anymore. Hopefully. Whenever someone says true.
There you go. Take a drink.
And then whenever someone says they can sign here anytime. That's a long list, but a good one.
Yeah.
It's only to get longer, I can imagine, in the future. As Melvin encouraged us to add as we go on.
It's a good drinking.
Yeah. It's pretty
Absolutely.
fantastic.
I'm curious to know if anybody out there is playing along this
Because
time.
if you're playing along with me, you should be almost done with your first beer by now. Unless you take giant swigs.
If you're drinking a long neck Coors Light,
Yeah.
or as my dad says, Coors.
Cool, like.
Cool.
Is that two? Because you bolted it?
I think so.
Sure, why not?
I think Tiger said Coors.
Oh, you missed it.
I think Tiger should definitely be the ref in this.
Cool, alright. Alright, let's jump right into this and hit up with our listener emails.
Yay!
Yes! You have new mail.
Well, I got pointed at to start, so.
Yeah, I just felt like doing that, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's terrible. This isn't TV. You can speak. Well, the first email. The first email. Hola, senors.
Hola!
It's the C at St. Patty's Day.
What?
It's the C at St. Patty's Day. C as in like C, like Spanish for yes. That's
Oh, okay.
And I just saw Tiger looking sexy, and just wanted to say I love you guys and the shop. Yes, I am drunk. There's no punctuation until the ... after I'm drunk.
I saw pictures of Tiger on the floor.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Can I reread that as to how he probably meant it? Hola, senors. It's the C at the St. Patty's Day, and I just saw Tiger and sexy, and just wanted to say I love you guys at the shop, and yes, I am drunk. Yes.
I like your drunk one.
But I want to be the first person in the studio audience to watch the podcast because I love it. Look forward to nothing but it every week. Thank you guys for having Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you guys for having the shop and being the best place ever to hang out. You guys are the tits. Love Joe Benedict. P.S. I can sign anytime or be a bartender during a podcast.
That means Waffle's got to take a drink.
I thought.
And you're right, we are the tits.
I was gonna guess that was either Mike Santiago or Joe Benedict.
Right now, P.S. My grammar sucks. Love you guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Joe Benedict.
So Joe,
What was your question?
He loves us.
Oh, okay.
wait, I don't know.
Yeah, go.
Joe.
That warrants a drink. Well, Waffle just finished his first beer.
So I saw Joe Benedict, and not to be outdone by another customer, he said that, we talked on the show that someone had bought me a drink, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So Joe kindly bought me a shot and a beer. So one up.
Oh no.
The other one.
Oh, okay, cool.
So now
Thank you, Joe, and I owe you a drink.
Now Tiger needs a shot of beer and margarita.
Yeah.
Or pina colada.
Well, what was the shot?
Maybe the James.
Okay.
I was saying 90 cents.
And what beer were you drinking?
He bought me a bottle.
Okay.
Should have been a Guinness.
So he didn't really spring on the beer, though.
What do you mean?
I mean, you know, you got your blood.
Oh, come on. It was
This was an ass.
Absolutely.
very nice.
It's a thought that counts.
I enjoyed it. I think it mattered.
You can get your Guinness, all you need is Bailey's Irish Cream from Irish Carbo.
True.
Somebody, Tiger, would you like to read the second email?
Is it like me eccentric or something?
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I'll
You
read
read
it.
it up?
Yeah, sure.
Is it me centric?
Oh, this one's long.
Is it me centric?
Yeah. You're good at reading. You have a degree.
Alright, here we go.
Read it in my imitation of you.
No. I can't do imitation.
Hello, all your listeners.
Alright. Greetings, everyone. Join the podcast as I always do, and I finally caught up the latest one, being Q. Awful signature.
So,
I actually entertained myself and watched it on YouTube, which, to be honest, gives a totally new fucking experience. Good job on that, guys.
Not just a new
thank you, Matt
experience.
Flick.
Yes, thank you.
Not just a new experience, a new fucking
Your
experience.
fucking
No,
experience.
he didn't say that.
Tiger
did.
Dan.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you said fucking.
Alright. Next thing I like to see and be a part of is a live audience, which I believe I heard being talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I want to bring up is at the end of the video reads, who will the guys offend then? My answer is simply going to have to be the Muslims. Oh, let's see. No, that one.
Comic Book Jones is very proud supporter of Muslim culture.
That's not a disclaimer, so.
No, of course not.
My answer is simply going to be, going to have to be the Muslims, or kids with progeria, or a Muslim child with progeria.
Children of progeria can sign here at any time.
What is progeria?
Oh, it's that disease that like makes little kids look like old people. They, like,
Oh, okay, yeah,
they
yeah,
got big heads.
Right.
That's a pretty freaky disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
That's like the opposite of the Gary Coleman disease. Whatever that's called.
I was the other day, the movie with Robin Williams.
The Jack.
Jack. That's
Oh, it's so good.
I know, so,
so I guess Robin Williams is progeria.
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola and Frank Drescher. No, J-Lo.
yeah. Is she an old kid too?
No, she's like a mom and she like falls a teacher.
All right, back to the email.
Back to the racist
Well, that's how it feels to me. Say it,
Why, yes, I have no idea, but it just seemed right since elders, handicapped, and talk to Babyface banging his own mom. We're okay to talk about it. Fair enough. Fair enough. Secondly, there was this episode where I was mentioned about me being shy. I was itching to do the cold opening. Maybe one day it'll happen. Maybe it will.
In your dreams.
Lastly, after conversations with you guys about tattoos a while back, I'm going to wind up making an appointment about for a tattoo. So thank you for the reference. Anyways, enough of my paragraph of nonsense. Keep up the great work, guys, and thank you for all the great comments you've turned me to. P.S. Get some more pop vinyls at the damn store, or at least find out about getting a DC Mobile exclusive pop vinyl. The #1 podcast fan, Matthew Zuccow.
Oh, man, is that his first email?
First or second? He might be a second.
Yeah.
I think it's his first.
I think it's his first.
Yeah, I think I'm like, wow, thanks, man.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Matt.
Thank you for the kind
And
words.
you can send him a coupon, which is in out.
Cool.
There you go.
Pop vinyls. Oh shit.
Thank you, Kevin.
He
Thank
loves
you,
pop vinyls.
Babyface.
He runs a pop vinyl.
Yes, the pop vinyl website. What is it? It's on the email, actually.
It's,
Popvinyls.com.
There you go.
Vinyls and multiple.
So go there.
Like,
exactly.
and he also runs a Twitter, which I really hate to say that. I don't have the top of my head.
I got 40.
Yeah. I have the SpongeBob and Patrick ones because they look soulless. It's amazing. The Patrick with the really happy expression, the black soulless eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
That's right.
Okay.
Shit.
And we have the last email, and it looks like the name of the email is All New Questions, inspired by all new comics. So we actually have to answer something. Because
Okay.
the last two people just had to go, oh, you're so awesome.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Which is cool, but I like answering thing.
It's cute.
So you prefer Q&A as opposed to praise emails?
I like drunk emails. But, no, I don't want to hear nice things from that.
Whatever keeps the conversation flowing.
Well, you guys ready?
Good point,
Yeah, exactly. You guys ready?
Yeah.
In honor of the all new Saga 11, which
I haven't read this yet. I haven't read this
spoiler free in quotes.
Oh, thank you.
Calm down.
Well, I only read the first 6.
but then there's no spoilers. Which WCBJ uses the word dick unironically during sex?
What?
Which of you at CBJ uses the word dick unironically during sex?
Like referring like suck my dick?
Yeah.
I definitely have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So all of us.
If you were
do you Babyface?
Yes.
Okay.
If you were looking for a crazy answer, I'm very sorry.
Babyface or MC?
No.
What about you, Ed? Do you?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
What other words do you use unironically during sex that might embarrass you now to admit? I have a pretty good story.
Yeah, so go with the
The
story.
greatest thing I've ever screamed while climaxing was screaming Yahtzee into the girl's face. Because
That's kind of ironic because you're not playing Yahtzee.
Yeah, but I did roll a Yahtzee at the time.
Oh, really?
I didn't know we were on the side, like rolling dice and a couple of shit.
That's fucking great. That's amazing.
I felt bad immediately afterwards because she looked mortified.
I love to think what's going through your head as you come up with that idea. Like you're you're like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be a great idea. Oh my god! And then it happens. You're like, oh, what the fuck was I thinking?
I mean, did it just come out, or was it like?
Literally moments before, it's like I have to think of something ridiculous right now for no reason.
Yeah.
And then the first thing that came to mind is Yahtzee!
Oh,
It's like the
awesome.
roll the E.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking great. I'm so proud of you.
That's so good, man.
No, that's the voice. I feel like
told me that
I
before.
feel like I've heard a cartoon say Yahtzee that way. I can't pinpoint it.
Right.
If a listener out there knows, please tell me what I referenced because I'd love to be able to actually quote it.
What, they said it like that?
Yeah,
Like that?
exactly.
Usually, what I yell when I'm climaxing is "Stop fucking crying."
Should I take a drink because the Babyface characters are from?
Face character, outstanding.
What about Babyface's character?
Oh, that's only the first two questions.
Okay.
If you can't think of any, please find another way to embarrass yourselves when it's your turn to answer. So you three have some fun. Oh no.
What's the question again?
What other things have you said unironically during sex that might embarrass you now to admit? I know Tiger's not gonna say shit.
I don't know, but how is that unironic? I mean,
Like ridiculous things.
what?
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
no, to me, ridiculous would be ironic.
It's ironic. Yeah.
Yeah, who are these people just saying
Well,
ironic?
at the end of the email,
Like unironic would just be like,
when I say your name,
Yeah, of course. You know,
when I say your name,
take it all, drink every drop.
Yes.
You know, fucking suck my cock.
Yeah. Is there like a hipster hipster sex rise, like irony sex now?
Irony sex. I love that a very good friend of ours, though, just popped into my head, has a whole series of photos on his phone of girls' asses written in red Sharpie with an arrow to the asshole saying his name and once here.
I really, afterwards, can you tell me who this is?
Oh,
Afterwards?
dude, come on, you've never seen
No.
There you go.
No, I have no idea.
I'll tell you.
Thank you.
Trust me.
Think about it for 2 seconds.
I have ideas, but I want to be which direction I'm going.
But I don't want to, not even something release.
Second paragraph. In honor of the all-new X-Men number 9, whose mind, at the table or otherwise, would you secretly poke around and manipulate if you had young Jean Grey's burgeoning psychic abilities?
Tiger.
Why?
I'm saying that I would definitely poke around Tiger's mind. Yeah.
There's not much going on in there.
No, well, that's what intrigues me. I think there's a lot more than you let on.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, it's just a CBJ member or anything?
You
At
said
the
that
table
table
or otherwise.
Table or otherwise.
We know your answer, Captain Smith. Socko?
I already said Tiger.
That's right, Tiger.
Or just women in general?
Just watch what women want.
Oh, wait, Babyface just said something creepy.
Watch what women want. Do what Mel Gibson does, and you'll have the fucking power.
That's what I'm saying. Mel Gibson has crazy.
I'll be honest, I don't want to fucking get anyone's mind here. That's for sure.
You know you want it here.
I'll be slightly curious.
Oh, come on, you know my mind.
Kind of like fuzzing through the veil and like, not really liking what you see and turning it back.
Yeah.
I see your mind. They're all over the place anyway.
I think Inside Socko said just a giant cartoon.
Maybe. I think there's a hot dog in a tuxedo who's rushing as quickly as he can to catch the train.
I have a banana with a parasite.
We better just not get in this.
I have a banana with a parasite. yard sale.
See, I would think it would end up wrong. Like, I would think like Jeff Johns to find out what happens in Justice League, but then I'd end up finding out some weird sex dream thing.
I would like into Alan Moore's mind to watch him cast spells.
Now, actually, I'd like to delve into Alan Moore's beard.
Or find a little instant brace of chink something in there or something.
Fucking Hoffa's in there and shit.
The real before Watchmen.
It's like into his beard.
Captain Weirdbeard.
Uh-oh. The screen went blank.
Okay, more?
Oh, there's more. Hold on! This is from Jabo, a.k.a. James Bokikio.
Oh! Wait, he's sending this right now?
He sent this, yes. James in the future. And I have to just say, I have to finish the rest of my drink. Because we just got a Derek Pinto email.
Oh! So
Waffle under
Waffle.
the wire.
Waffle's got 2 beers in his belly now. He's almost done with the second one. There you go. It's taking him 2.
Chug.
It's going to take him 3 to get this
I
one
can't
down.
chug it all. I have a terrible gag.
Yeah, no, I'm not a good chugger either. I never was.
I can chug pretty well.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah.
Give.
I used to
give
chug.
Tiger Coors Light.
I used to chug milk.
Why? Only
I want to see you chug the whole thing.
Oh, God. See, that makes that happen.
It's going to be on camera. Just turn around and look at that flick.
No, I got it.
He's drooling, folks. He's coming out of his lower lip, but he's really doing a good fucking job at chugging that. Wow, it's a good thing Lex Rex isn't here. Holy shit, Tiger! Wow!
You're right. Lex probably would have just been wait. You know, while you're at it.
Yeah.
Just started.
And there's
And right after, our new listeners in Belgium are
ecstatic.
just well, no, they're like fucking pussy American chugging Coors Light.
With your
Chugging off the leader!
Wilson.
Yeah. Oh, and I mentioned the state. There you go, there's a sound
I noticed James has a PS to his email.
Well, there's a BS.
Away from the electrical equipment.
That's it.
Waffle Coors Light just came all over the table.
Matt, there are napkins behind on the first shelf.
Just like the 2.
There's also a tiny sack. There's a tiny sack, Edward.
Thank you, brother.
Alright.
Alright, so we're cleaning up the mess. So I'm play by play.
Okay. So there's a Tiger addendum. I assume you're not racist.
What?
Well, I'm gonna wait till Tiger gets back to the table.
That's yet to be confirmed.
Yeah. Well, do we all think at the table Tiger might be a little racist?
I don't think Tiger's racist.
No.
Everyone's a little racist.
I don't know.
Yes. Says
It's-
Avenue Q.
You can. Everyone might be a little racist, but it's a person-to-person basis.
Well, okay, hold on. I was away from the table.
Oh, no,
I'm
no.
not racist.
No. I'm just talking about the addendum.
Okay.
I'm not racist at all. I just hate the Italians.
I assume you're not racist, Tiger, but picking Hitler over Bismarck for a doppelganger was highly suspect. The question wasn't.
Think about my choice.
The question wasn't who would you rather look like if you lived in a pre-war Germany. Just imagine what Lex Russ was thinking when you picked the most despised person in the history of the biz.
No, I don't care.
Even if you're not sure who the biz is, it's still a good choice. James, if you really don't think Tiger knows who Bismarck
I
is,
don't
it's
think what
funny.
he is.
But it's still a choice if that other guy is Hitler, FYI.
Listen, I enjoy history and, they had a big part in history.
And I think if we've
I
learned
mean, that's
anything,
undeniable.
anything, it's that Lex Rex always cares.
He always cares a little too much sometimes in a beautiful
So is
way.
that a question or?
That was just the addendum
criticism.
to make fun of you.
Yeah.
You can help Bukikio. You were talking to him before. You gotta be peace with him next
Nah, I
Wednesday.
just won't talk anymore.
Uh-oh. And
Come on,
now,
James.
we have the beautiful email of the evening, which I have to take out of the ship as I read it in the middle.
From Dave Pinto?
From Dave Pinto.
Dave?
Jerkoff Jones.
Jerkoff Jones, a.k.a. Dave, a.k.a. Derek, according to Melvin in his first draft.
Yeah. That's alright. Melvin's excused.
Yes. He sent actually a reply immediately after with Derek replacing Dave.
Uh-huh.
So we had double the email, but one was Dave, one was Derek.
Cool. That's Waffle takes another drink.
Hello, brethren.
Hello, brethren.
Jerkoff Jones here with the weekly email. Ooh, that was a good start with the drink. Hope everyone is having a good evening. Purposely writing a little later than usual for 2 reasons. Being that the eyes of Babyface can't be trusted. 2, all you fuckers up there that may be getting drunk at my expense, go fuck yourself, Derek. Well, guess what? I just wrote in during a podcast session. By my calculations, you bitches have to finish a beer. Okay, on to more serious matters, like me. I laughed during last week's podcast. I hope you did.
Yeah.
Ooh. Because I swear to God, when I originally asked Waffle which Pokemon he would be, I don't know why, but I had Electabuzz in mind. Is that fate? You guys, I don't know, Derek. Actually, you didn't bring that up to me today. I think you were probably waiting for the type of version of the conversation.
Exactly. You want to drop that bomb on the
Yeah.
podcast.
You guys also talked about characters that don't get the proper respect they deserve, or that they're just used poorly. Most of you guys know I'm a huge Scarecrow fan. In my opinion, he's got.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Did you
Actually,
know that faggot is a huge Scarecrow fan?
Who?
Derek Pinto.
No,
Yeah.
he's a Scarecrow fan.
Derek Pinto.
I loved Batman Begins.
He's a huge Scarecrow fan.
Apparently, in my opinion, he's got the potential to be a premier villain.
No.
He carried half the movie.
It depends on the writer. Anybody
Exactly.
can find a premier villain.
He's just so underutilized, it's horrendous. Just in this email, I could have come up with 1,000 different awesome stories for a character with the tagline, The Master of Fear. Anyway, question time. Socko was completely
Wait, there was no
shocked.
point, there was no point to that?
The first paragraph was completely Derek going, I like something I never told you.
And now you know.
And now you know.
I'm comic book geek.
Yes.
More you know.
No, I love you, Derek.
And now, on to the question. You ready? The first one's you, Ed. What is your dream job? Let him answer before continuing.
To write comic books.
Now, would you rather get said dream job or have Kieran believe?
What's more important to you, Ed? You or the child?
This is my favorite question so far, Derek. Thank you.
I love you, Kieran, but I'm sorry, I need the money.
Kieran will believe no more.
Socko,
Yeah.
I fucking hate Drake.
He hates what?
Drake.
Who's Drake?
He's a new hip-hop artist.
Oh, yeah, he's in a Sprite commercial.
Yeah, he was a tiny child on a Canadian show at one point. He was on Degrassi. Yeah, he
Oh,
got
okay.
shot in the
So
back
he-
by the Angry Nerd. He was in a wheelchair.
He's a
and he-
manufactured hip-hop
Yes.
star, okay.
He talks about the streets, a.k.a. the streets of Toronto, which are really clean.
Yeah, sure,
Oh,
exactly.
you mean
Yeah,
Degrassi, the next generation?
Yeah, that series is amazing.
yeah man.
Well, no
You
show.
need a two-girl, I'll wet you.
No show I've ever watched. One episode is a girl, a clean Christian girl who doesn't have sex, getting raped. You find out she has an STD and trying to off herself in 25 minutes.
What?
Crazy. That's crazy writing.
What show is this?
Degrassi.
Oh.
Men for like middle schoolers. Yeah, men for middle schoolers. Watch the Christian girl get raped.
I saw the one where Kevin Smith got started.
Those episodes are pretty funny, and Kenny probably has the DVD.
No, I borrowed it from an anonymous person. Anyway.
Oh, the anonymous person. So, Socko.
Anyway,
So Socko, which rapper would you trade in place of B.I.G.? P.S. Drake can sign a comic book saying fuck him, he can. And I avoided Drake.
So wait,
What rapper would you give up to trade in to get B.I.G. back? He's kind of assuming that you're just a giant Drake B.I.G.
I
fan.
don't really care for B.I.G.
Yeah.
I never did.
You want to tell Derek to go fuck himself with this?
Yeah, so Derek, you're assuming that you know what I like.
Awful question.
What?
It's an awful question.
Yeah. You're usually good.
Do your research, buddy.
Ask questions before you ask questions.
No.
So Tiger.
So my answer is no.
No. Yeah, none.
That's my answer. My answer is none.
So Tiger. I'm actually curious about this.
Okay.
What's the most important feature of a woman? Her eyes, breasts, her ability to read Braille. Get it? Because she can't complain. I'm just kidding. But seriously, shoes. And yes, I know I'll be accompanying you in hell.
Most important feature of a woman.
A physical feature, I'm assuming.
Yes. Well, he did the
Are
same
you
thing.
a tits man or an ass man?
It was all about that shoulders.
I guess ass man, but I prefer, I don't know.
Oh, the
Nice
legs.
body.
Legs?
Yeah, but that's what.
You know, you give us a specific. Come on. The 4 men surrounding you. You can,
I'm an ass man.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree with Tiger. I'm definitely an ass guy over tits.
I like movies.
Yeah.
I like tits, but I think Babyface likes ass.
I don't know. Babyface likes
Babyface probably likes the nape of the neck.
He likes the curve of the
Yeah.
collarbone.
Exactly. So.
Next is to me. Waffle, would you rather be part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or the Power Rangers? Also, which is your favorite member of both factions and why? We're a fucking Power Ranger.
Not for nothing. He really rushed this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you think about your question?
Yeah, maybe you should take a break next.
I want to be a fucking Power Ranger because I can do a cool dance and I get a robot.
I never liked Power Rangers. I
Really?
liked Turtles, yeah.
Oh.
I hate Power Rangers. That
I was the right age to get caught up
Yeah.
with a bunch of men in suits and
Yeah.
crappy Japanese monsters destroying cities.
I don't want to be either.
But
I grew up that way too, Waffle, except it was Godzilla.
Yeah.
I go for Ghostbusters myself.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that was an option.
Yeah. Nobody asked you.
It was Ghostbusters.
I will throw down. No, that's not true. I just said
I
true.
just love that every Mighty Morphin Power Ranger episode had the same plot. It was always a kid gets stolen by Rita Repulsa.
Yes.
She sends down a creature. The Power Rangers fight the creature grows. Then they get the Megazord.
I don't know.
The creature.
I watch the first movie weekly.
Well, that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
The first season is great because they just suddenly show up constantly, and as they show up to like fight something, the grass behind them just explodes.
Only thing I know is.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like they'll show up in formation and they'll get into line. They'll be like they're here.
That would happen.
All the time. When you look at your watch, just
No, I just want to like walk into fucking key food.
And it's also because you.
And I'm totally like, whoops, sorry.
It's weird because you could tell that all the fight scenes were filmed in Japan like 20 years ago, and then they just inserted all this 90s stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like,
The one
okay.
thing I liked about that though was how like whenever they were talking, because their mouths didn't move and they have the helmets on, they like throw their heads around when they're talking. You know.
Wait, were the people Japanese or American?
No, they were American actors, but when there were fight scenes, it was the original cut of the Japanese show.
Oh, it was a Japanese.
So it was a Japanese show. Oh, of course. It's meant to
What was it called?
I don't know.
The Power Evan, we probably got and then they name every monster.
Right.
And that's why
Those Kraken monsters are hysterical.
and also the X, which is my favorite members. Well, my favorite member of Ninja Turtles is April O'Neil. And I like all the original Power Rangers because of the racial stereotype in the colors. The Asian girl yellow, the normal American white girl was pink, the black dude was black,
The nerd was true blue.
the nerd was blue, and then the cool guy was always green or white.
And then the red guy was in America.
Yeah, the red guy was Native American.
Are you serious?
Yeah. My favorite Zord is the black guy had a fucking mask on for some reason. Like everyone had like a normal, non-extinct animal except for, dinosaur, which is makes sense for some reason. But then there was a giant elephant dinosaur coming to the black man's age. Which is just like, why?
Well, maybe you know that elephant planes in Africa.
That's what I
They
all dinosaurs. He was Mastodon,
A saber-tooth.
Saber-tooth tiger, which is an extinct animal. Triceratops.
It doesn't exist.
You don't know.
I could visit.
Are you a cryptozoological genius?
No.
I think Tiger's uncomfortable with that.
Yeah. Now the last question goes to the character of Babyface.
Okay, let's take the drink first, Waffle.
Yeah.
And I have to say, everyone, Waffle takes a hard swig when he's drinking. Don't be pussies out there, just like, you know.
Yeah, don't like
fucking sit. Yeah.
I actually do have one beer right in front of me. There might be one more in the back.
And not for nothing, the Christy Rizzo, because she says that she drinks whiskey, not beer.
Oh, shit. I was just lined up at 40 shots.
She's got to be passed out by now. I mean, Waffle's what? You threw 2 beers already?
Like 2 and a third.
Yeah, and so, you know, you equate that to whiskey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
50 to drink, you're like one on the rocks. It's a nice couple shots. Okay, and then to Babyface. Would you rather become a woman and live a woman life, or be forced to have a shower with your mom every morning? Ken, this is a show.
Be a woman who womanly life.
Oh, I can just picture you staring in the mirror now.
I think he would.
He wants to be a woman.
So now he just has to scout his mom every day?
Every morning.
Every morning?
No.
No, not every
See, it doesn't seem like a easy choice to me because the first one was like, okay, I'm a chick, so why can't I rule to be a chick?
I'll get free shit all the time.
Well, that's your hot chick.
Get Derek on Skype.
Okay, friends, I love you all. Sorry for causing a ruckus yet again. You didn't cause any ruckus.
Yeah,
I wish you feeling
I love
we all love you, but get in the game. You had hours.
You bet on a week.
A week, but from when he came in, he likes to write him after that.
The entire was created in a week!
Yeah.
So I guess not for us to come in next week. God bless, have fun, be good to remember. Believe! all my walls forever always. Surf Jones.
Nice.
You make me sick, Derek.
You make me physically ill. You make Tiger physically ill.
Why don't we waste this time?
That was, you didn't even know him.
Just
No, that's it.
Oh my god.
cool.
All right, now moving in to our news update.
Moving in?
News?
Or are we moving on?
Moving on.
Moving in?
Moving up.
Yeah.
Moving out.
Look at it, Joseph.
What's in the news, Waffle?
Yeah, what's in the news, Waffle?
For the most part, DC lost a shitload of writers today in books that haven't even started, or runs that haven't started.
What do you mean?
Diggle's dropped off Action Comics already. And
He himself backed out?
I didn't read the whole article.
Oh.
I know he might have backed away himself. Tony Daniels is taking over writing duties.
I thought you were going to say Tony Danza.
No, that'd be
Yeah,
fantastic.
that'd be pretty good.
Well, I will say this.
Angela!
The first book I read today was Action Comics number 18, which is Grant Morrison's last issue, which was cool. And the second book,
cool.
it was cool.
Um,
and the second book I read,
You have to drink.
Oh,
Like I said, the Q. And I just did too.
the second book I read had a 5-page preview of Action number 19, which is Diggle's first issue, and it was 5 pages. At the end, I was just like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be cool." And this is like action-based stuff. And Tony Daniels, a great artist. It's nice to see him, writing someone else's script. And then the second I finished that, I turned to Babyface and go, "Hey, Action 19 looks like it's gonna be cool." And he goes, "Yeah, Diggle already off the book."
Oh, man.
Diggle's quote is tweets. Sadly, I've decided to walk away from Action Comics for professional reasons. It was the toughest decision I've ever had to make, especially with Superman's 75th anniversary and Man of Steel on the horizon. But it was the right decision. No regrets. Onward.
I mean, it's just, I've heard from so many different writers just in conversation that Superman is the toughest because you get notes from everywhere.
Yeah, he
DC.
probably wasn't allowed to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And said, okay, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He probably got pigeonholed into such a book that he didn't.
That's why Superman sucks.
Yeah, I
Just fucking.
and I
It's his
do I have to
character.
take a drink if I do my own bits, like if I pull my own, if I do something that has
Yeah.
my name on it. I'll be taking a drink in a second because DC, it sounds more than Marvel gives a lot more notes out to editorial notes, and it's not a creative.
Well, we don't
freedom,
know that, but we do know that a lot of people get pissed off
But I feel
working at DC.
like Scott Snyder is one of the only people that might have full, complete reign on what he does, with the book, because he's kind of just done what he wants to do. It seems. I can't really see lots of that being editorial.
Yeah.
You read Action Comics and Superman, you can just feel them going in a direction, and then a note came in and just like, nope,
Yeah.
can't go there.
Yeah.
Go back to the city or something like that. Like,
Okay, so go back to the city!
I'll be honest, I think there are a handful of writers who get that. I don't think Morrison gets a lot of that. I don't think Jeff Johns definitely
Johns, Morrison, and
doesn't.
Snyder probably don't.
Jeff Lemire.
Lemire, I don't
Clumsy
I-
Lou.
Yeah, well, Clumsy Lou never. He's perfect. He writes exactly what DC wants.
Well, it's not like he would listen to them if they gave him notes.
No, right. Exactly.
A lot of writers, that's their big complaint probably is that, the corporations own these characters, and that's why they all want to write creator-owned comics, just do their own thing.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Well, I heard a quote recently, and that DC sells comics and Marvel's a commodity broken down. And it
Interesting.
took a second to sink in, and it makes a little sense now because everything Marvel's doing, while really good right now, is gearing towards big film coming up. Like Thanos was dead for the last 3 years, completely non-existent, and we've been fine. We've been happy. Thanos is coming back with his own miniseries and event, full Infinity event apparently coming up.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was Thanos Imperative that was out not that long ago.
That was when, spoiler alert if you haven't read it, which is going to take, it comes into question in Guardians of the Galaxy #1, I think, next week. The Thanos, Star-Lord, and Nova were dead.
Right.
They were in a universe that closed, which is, to me, worse than cancer, which Captain Marvel died of. That's you're gone, unless somebody writes a really good retcon.
It was
Right.
the Cancerverse.
It was the Cancerverse, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, but that book was 3 years ago.
That book was 3 years ago, yes, but...
I'm saying, because he said, but he said it was Thanos Carter.
Yeah, so now there's the...
Sorry, everybody.
Who's writing the Simone Bianchi Thanos book? Is it Jason Aaron? I feel like I have Aaron.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's Aaron Bianchi, which is
Well, I actually think
ridiculous.
that was the book that when it was first solicited didn't have a writer attached.
No, I think it was on banners on CBR all day, and it just keeps coming up saying the Thanos book. Yeah, but Thanos is gonna. They've actually said we're putting Thanos out now to get you excited for the movie in 2 years, and that's
Which they should be doing.
which they should be doing, but they
Wait,
could be
Guardians
doing.
of the Galaxy is really 2 years away.
Guardians is 1 year away. Thanos is the villain of Avengers 2.
Right.
That's why they're probably doing Guardians to give you a bridge to who the fuck Thanos is.
Yeah.
Which even most fans of Thanos have no idea. He's just he's the Mad Titan.
Yeah.
Like he said in the Avengers. It was
You don't know Thanos.
quick wink, like
Yep.
there it is. Like,
Well, did you get the reference of the quote, Kenny?
oh yeah, because he's the Thanos is the Avatar of Death.
No, he's in love with the Avatar of Death. That's his
Right.
lover. He does
Exactly.
anything to please her, and that's why the line to attack Earth is to court death.
That's his baby
makes
mama.
him smile.
And kind of getting back to what we were saying before about, basically editors and people cramming down on writers, I'm not saying it's right, but I can understand why it
Oh
happens.
no, it's very understandable. I don't think anyone here.
Especially when you look at, the difference between an indie film and a big budget blockbuster, when you have hundreds of millions of dollars at stake, or in this case, you have a character that's produced that much money for one company, you can understand why a lot of people would be involved and would want to put in their 2 cents.
Yeah, but you know what? Not for nothing. I'm going to say that 75 to 80% of the people you see walking around with Superman T-shirts on do not fucking regularly read the comic every month it comes out.
It's more than that. I would say.
I
would say 9 out of every 10 people.
I could right. I agree. I
Batman's 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just I can understand wanting to have so much control over a movie or television or whatever. But I mean the comics. I mean, come on. Give the diehards what they want, which is just a good book.
well, like reading the Kirby Jimmy Olsen stuff, it's fun.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine if there's a Jimmy Olsen book now, and it would be so I'm gonna go report this story. And it'd be exactly what Jimmy Olsen should be, quote unquote. And it's let the writer have his writing. That's what you pay him to do.
Yeah.
Is write, and you're telling him what to write. Why not just come up with have a generic name 7 writing this book and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's like in comics, but when so much money's involved, they'll focus group everything and does this how does it test with people? Do they like this element of this character? Do they like that element? And then everything just becomes about a corporate bottom line and a profit. And is this going to make money or is it going to make money?
I kind of wish they would do focus groups for comics. I don't know. That'd be really interesting.
They have.
I actually want to see a room full of people reading a comic and hearing it done, in order, because that's going to, competitive nerve is going to be I read comics faster.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I want nothing to do with any of that.
But,
to quote one of my favorite directors, Nicholas Meyer, in specificity, you will find universality. But in universality, no. But in universality, you will only find cafeteria food.
I'm going to write down.
What that means is, if you go for something specific and detailed and true to life, true to yourself, something that's specific to you, everyone will find some detail in that they can relate to.
Yep.
Oh.
And if you go for something that you're trying to get everyone to like and please, all you'll end up with is generic schlock.
Yep.
Definitely.
And I'm going to
So
answer the
come
drinking
see,
list.
come saw.
It's kind of like multi-camera sitcoms versus single-camera sitcoms.
Yeah.
Community, and you got Big Bang Theory. You have where Community, I feel, is more we know what the geeks like. We're just gonna give it to them and not put it to specific reference. Where Big Bang Theory is all in the nose, Superman said this. Oh, Spider-Man number that, blah blah blah. Where it's Community, they'll act out a specific scene from a movie and not even tell you what it is. Be oh, I know what that is.
I don't know.
The only time I've ever I'm not a huge Big Bang Theory fan. The joke that made me chuckle
I like that
was somebody made a Kador dry cleaning service being really small joke, and I was like, that's kind of smart. And then I realized that they're making comic jokes for
Candor, you mean?
Candor. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I said Kador.
Yeah, that's alright.
Yeah, I'm
You've been
sorry.
drinking all night.
Yeah, well, that's actually a name from something that's behind you.
No, yeah.
And I'm gonna add to the list when Ed describes something, the Saiga War Machine stuff, Kador. When Ed describes something, it sounds like he uses made-up words.
Oh yeah, my sister's been getting upset that Socko hasn't been calling me on that lately.
What?
For using words that you don't understand.
No, yeah. Well, I just did.
Yeah. but not only did Diggle leave a book before it's been released, the writer of Green Lantern Corps and Red Lanterns also jumped ship.
Oh yeah.
Fialkov?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad this is on video. I hope you got Ed's face there. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Fialkov.
I was looking forward to those.
Yeah.
Oh,
and just to explain to you his quote being, for me the attraction was that I wanted to tell a crime story at a galactic level. That was my pitch to DC.
Sounds awesome.
Jeff and all the other guys have done such an amazing job prior to us of telling those big giant space operas. Now it's time to narrow it down. Let's do stories that almost fall into different genres.
Time out.
Yeah.
Look at Ed's face and why is one of his hands missing? And look at how he's stroking his Dr. Pepper bottle. Go on.
The lights are on it.
Genre will still... let's do stories that almost fall into a different genre that while still being in the Green Lantern universe. It doesn't really explain why he left. Maybe they wouldn't let him do anywhere close to what he wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's still no notice of who will replace him. Like, we know Daniels is going to be replacing Diggle right away because Daniels has done writing duties before. But
nobody really leaves because they're happy unless they've done a 150 issue run.
Well, it's like Bendis, like, I'm done with Avengers.
Yeah.
Let's change this now.
Exactly.
A lot of people wanted it on X-Men.
A lot of people what?
One of them an X-Men?
Who?
Bendis.
Oh.
I can honestly say I've never heard a customer say, I wish this man was writing X-Men.
Oh.
I always just hear, like, I love everything he's writing.
Usually, like, on the Q&As you see with him, he always gets a question like, oh, would you ever write X-Men? When would you write X-Men?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I know he gets a lot of questions about Guardians now, and the answer is read the fucking book. Because people are asking really specific things, and it's actually getting really funny annoying.
I want him to write Yo Gabba Gabba,
Oh.
the TV show, just because I want to see a lot of dialogue between kids.
About being human?
Dancing
About being
robots.
human?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the robot in the ice bag talk about being human.
Yeah.
And what it's like to go shopping and living in the tower and stuff.
What's the DJ's name?
DJ Lance.
There you go. Good job, Waffle. I fucking love
He was
this.
about to answer right away.
I'm disappointed.
I don't know anything.
Ed's done. Like, Ed wants to leave because of that announcement. Like, Diggle was okay, but...
Sorry, Ed.
Wow. Especially when he describes what he would have done.
Ed, you want us to take a break?
No.
Do you want do you want a beer now? Like, do you want to calm down?
Give you a moment of silence.
I
You want a hot pocket?
I think it's best
A
we
soda?
just move right into making it about me.
Well, did anyone give you a Marvel book today?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Before that, I have one Marvel piece of news.
Oh, okay.
Marvel released, or not Marvel, somebody with a cell phone camera released the Ant-Man test footage. And it's already been taken down. I just went to show everyone at the table while you were away, Sock, in a little break. It's already been taken down, which I figured would have happened in hours after seeing it. I'm almost speechless. I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah?
Just to see more. Sock, you're gonna love it. Tiger, I feel like you're gonna be impressed.
Is it like Honey, I Shrunk the Superhero?
No, it's
Okay.
to give a weird synopsis without. It's not really spoiling anything. It's a story. It's just literally to show off Ant-Man being Ant-Man.
Right, okay.
Getting small to big to small to big, fighting some guys, and it was awesome.
I believe it.
And you can tell Edgar Wright had some part of it just by looking at the little half a minute of it. And apparently,
Nobody cares about Ant-Man.
I do.
I don't know.
Wait, what's this 10-part series out right now that's just started? Oh, Age of Ultron? Who created Ultron?
I don't know.
Ant-Man.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He creates world
I
ending
think you just made Tiger uncomfortable, by the way.
No, you don't have to drink Waffle.
You're
You're
too
not a
late.
big
Yes,
Waffle.
yes, he does. Yes, he does.
I think it's the first time you ever said it to me, Tiger. You're not making me uncomfortable.
Now put on my jacket.
Well, based on Edgar Wright's previous films, I'm pretty excited that Rick directed a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I got some shit before saying I'm excited for Man of Steel because I'm a Snyder fan, and I got made fun of by both customers at the counter for being a
Really?
Snyder fan. Yeah,
Who cares?
and I feel like every time I bring up Sucker Punch, the film, I get made fun of because I enjoy the hell
Well,
out
yeah,
of it.
okay. All right.
didn't
I love that
understand
fucking
Sucker
movie.
Like,
Punch
if you
at
say
all.
300 or Watchmen,
What?
I can see you make an argument.
Give me a
but
reason why Sucker Punch is terrible.
Here we go.
I can't understand it.
Ding, ding, ding.
You're a fucking idiot. It's really simple.
Oh!
All right. First off, okay, I understand the plot, but there's 4 fucking levels of it.
It's all the same story told in different ways.
Yeah, and that's not made clear.
Yeah.
It is. It's semi-clear.
It's
I got
Okay,
it.
it's
I'm
not
not saying-
made clear.
Tiger, have you ever seen this? I got it when I saw it in theaters, and
Did
I
you
walked
see
out
it?
amazed.
Yes.
Like,
Ken, Babyface?
And it's I don't know, because it starts like
I just want to point out that Ken's holding his microphone like Madonna right now.
Yeah, I've never held the microphone before,
Like
but
Madonna's
apparently, Kenny's uncomfortable.
Okay, it's a bunch of
like
chicks
leaning
in a
into the
mental
table.
institution, but it's also a bunch of chicks in a prostitution ring, and then it's also a bunch of chicks fighting in some random video game world.
Yeah, they're like
So what's your
dancing.
problem?
Because it's like a dream with it's like Inception, but they don't explain it as well.
No, Inception. I hate Inception.
No, it's a good
Um,
movie.
All right, now
I'm not a fan of
That's a good
Inception.
movie.
It's all subjective.
I
Opinions
honestly,
are opinions.
No, but I have to say, I didn't think Inception was as good as everybody made it.
Yeah.
out to be.
I don't. Okay,
watched it,
I will
was
retract that. I don't
like,
hate Inception. I'm on the level of Socko, where I watched it with the intention of, holy shit, this is gonna be mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I got the movie 10 minutes in and went, cool.
Yeah.
I'll fucking take a drink. But
Inception's better than Dark Knight Rises. That's
yes.
my opinion.
No, actually, no.
I didn't
What are you
see
talking
Dark Knight
about?
Rises.
But Sucker Punch is a very easily layered film if you don't think too much into it.
No.
A girl gets sent to a mental institution. In her mind, just kind of clouds it up, just kind of insane fantasy that she's in a whorehouse kind of, instead of being the woman teaching her how to dance is like the therapist in the insane asylum.
Okay.
And then as she dances, she goes into a weird trance that they don't show you the action of them like stealing things or doing certain specific things, because it gets taken to this crazy fantasy world where there's awesome Bjork covers and
Yeah, right.
and there's just shit going down. There's
Kind of like
steampunk
the
Nazis.
Opposites Attract video with Paula Abdul and MC
A little,
Scat Cat.
a little bit.
Yeah.
A tiny bit. It's more like Get Out of Your Dreams and Into My Car video.
Alright, yeah.
Well, my basic feeling was that
Billy
I
Ocean.
don't think Snyder achieved what he set out to do.
No.
Whether it was through missing scenes or the cut wasn't right or whatever, and I just didn't think it was worth it in the end. That's why I didn't enjoy the movie.
It's a film that I wish there was a director's cut of, because I would really love to see his
And
vision
I'm
of
sure
it.
it's out there.
No.
No?
Or it will be
Yeah,
out
right.
there.
I've looked. No, the Blu-ray doesn't have it. It's just a regular cut.
Lame.
Alright.
But everyone, let's go ahead and talk now, because I'm sure you're all sick of me.
I love you.
I know.
Ready? Okay.
I love you too.
So then we're gonna hear a DC read a Marvel.
Yep, everyone's okay.
Okay.
So Captain Marvel zapped him right between the eyes. Zap!
The Marvel that this DC read this week is Wolverine Max #5. Written by Jason Starr, art by Roland Bosky and Felix Ruiz.
Okay.
And this is part of the Max book. The Max books are Marvel's mature line.
Yes.
I've heard of Punisher Max.
Yes.
That's a big.
Well, they also, right now, they have Wolverine Max, Fury Max, and I think that's it for the Max line right now, right?
Yeah, I think it's like a R-rated Marvel universe.
Exactly. There's cussing, there's nudity.
Which I'm surprised because there wasn't that much of this. Of that in this issue, at least.
But it could happen at any moment, and that's the danger. Yeah.
Or just I think it's like a storyline that's maybe too dark for mainstream readers.
Well, and that's what's kind of weird is this almost seems like a direct sequel to
The film.
yeah to the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie.
And hold on one second. Have you ever read the War Machine Max? Because that is the furthest thing from dark and brooding. It just had boobs. That's why it was a Max series, Kenny.
Yeah.
Well, boobs are cool.
Yeah, but when they're drawn by Steve Dillon, it's not. Continue, Ed.
Yeah, it's an action book, and there's a lot of flashbacks in here. It's basically a conversation between Sabretooth and Wolverine about how they don't trust each other, or at least Wolverine doesn't trust Sabretooth anymore. And I'm looking at there is some bloody stuff in here. Someone gets a katana through the eye.
Nice!
Yeah. And there's some interesting character stuff, but it wasn't really standout.
Right.
I would just say it's mediocre.
Okay.
Why'd you go with #5 instead of #1?
Because this is what Socko handed me.
That's right.
Okay.
And I've never read it.
We throw them right in the middle.
That's right. So, you don't like it?
It's okay.
It's the worst?
It's down there.
Oh, it's down there.
I read the first issue. I don't really care for it.
Okay.
It's okay. It's Fury Max has been a hell of a lot better.
Fury Max is amazing.
I feel like Wolverine Max would be really awesome if it had a more Wolverine-oriented writer that we knew.
Yeah.
I feel like Jason Aaron would go bonkers on a Wolverine Max story. Tiger probably agrees.
Yeah.
And I also think if you have that option where you can make this really, really gritty and mature, and you know, I expected it to go in a very different place, and it just seemed like this could have been a generic Wolverine story.
Okay. So, good.
Sorry. That's DC Reads a Marvel for this week.
Oh wow! Holy crap! Poor thing.
Do we have any Socko topics?
Well, as a matter of fact, we do. It's not so much a topic as it is a visual, and I'm just going to put this out there, and if there's a reaction, there's a reaction, but it's just a visual. Acne tits.
Oof.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like werewolf, like hairy woman tits, where there's like hair
No,
around the
I'm
areola?
talking about acne tits.
Yeah, that's
pretty bad.
Well, like acne tits, like a Looney Tunes factory.
no.
No, like a big old pair of titties with some
Go fuck
pimples
yourself,
all over
Ed.
it. Nasty
Take a
butt.
drink.
I just literally picture a woman. No, it's during the intro.
Areolas and whiteheads.
Oh!
Literally picturing a woman who wears like a sports bra.
Sports bra! Okay!
All day, all night. Like she takes it off the shower and puts the same sports bra back on. And then goes to the club for the first time in years to find a man. Brings her home, and he's just laughing because his little white head's all over them titties.
Oh man, come on now. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen.
See, I would get scared. Like, is it herpes or is it just this?
I don't think you get herpes on your tits.
It isn't herpes if it's everywhere. What movie is that from? Fuck.
Sorry, Tiger, I just fogged again.
No, sorry.
No, I'm really not. Yeah, so I guess unless Tiger has something to add.
I have nothing to add. Very disturbing.
Thanks for listening to Socko Topics.
Now, I spoke to Babyface today, and he had a creepy dream he wanted to talk about, so we could have done that segment.
I think he was dressed up as
Wait. Are you bringing that up and then you have no idea what the dream is?
Yeah.
Why?
So that our listeners have something to look forward to next week.
Well, yeah. He's never going to remember it.
He can't remember what he did 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He's like a...
He actually took the night off tonight because he was out being nice.
I think he was a babushka for a bit of his dream.
Oh, that's a Russian grandma, right?
Yeah. And then I think he sold comics to somebody, and then it was over.
That's just what happened at work.
He was a babushka yesterday. He was an old Russian grandma for a day.
Why not?
Mama must have been fucking confused.
Who?
Mama.
Oh, yeah.
Mama comes in, Babyface wearing a dress and like a little shawl over his
Oh, no,
head.
that's Tuesday.
Kill.
I'm almost done with the third beer.
That's it?
Yeah. Fucking guys suck tonight.
This is
Oh,
a shit
man.
game.
I have a pen in my pocket. I'm at number 24, and I'm going to take a drink for it. Whenever Socko passes gas of either the vocal or the anus time.
Yeah, there you go. That's actually pretty good.
Anal gas.
Could we just be when anyone emits bodily fluids?
I've never pissed at the table.
Yeah, there's no...
Taking shit
Like,
at
I'm not like... Yeah, I'm not busting a nut on the table.
Yeah.
We're just farting.
I think Lex did.
That's underneath.
Yeah.
A couple Magic players pointed out the state
Yeah,
spot.
there's no way we can.
Babyface's leg.
There's no way we can legally prove that.
No, yeah. Well, you could legally prove it, sure.
I'm disgusted.
Mission accomplished.
Well,
Moving
you're
on.
comfortable.
Number
Do you
three
want
down.
to be anywhere but here?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Hey.
But he wants to be anywhere but
Oh,
here.
fuck.
Not anywhere.
There's another beer open. And another sweep from Waffle.
And now we're moving on to our commercial segment.
Oh!
Wait. Do we have a secret order?
Whoa, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Skipping me
And
over.
I'm
That
the one
is my
drinking.
fault.
And everybody says Tiger doesn't pay attention.
I'll be honest. I thought Babyface was here.
That's because Ed got really started.
And I also want to
before
point
this
out,
podcast.
one of the reasons I had to bring it up is because Kenny, who's been listening to this podcast since the very beginning, is an avid fan.
Since he was a kid.
Has been saving his secret origins since the hopefulness that he'd be a guest on the show. So it better be a big
like
one.
that. Oh no.
It's gonna suck. It's gonna be like Kevin Smith.
No, it's
jerking off
Well,
his
now we're
little
going to hear his
And he's going to say it in his unthrilled voice.
Gillen's secret origin. comics, and what were the events that brought you to Comic Book Jones?
Be honest.
Okay. So, growing up in the 90s,
That's interesting, and now the commercials.
Thanks, buddy. No, I don't know. I watched a lot of cartoons. The Batman the animated series and Spider-Man, X-Men, Superman, the old Bruce Timm on the kids' WB. So that was always cool. And then, so I kind of like dabble in comics, but I got lazy because I tried to get my dad to read them when I was a little kid. But then he's like, read them on your own. I'm like,
oh, like you wanted him to read them to you?
Yeah,
read them with you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then, he's like, yeah, you're too old for this. So I kind of lost interest.
Yeah, what age did you try to get him to read to you? Like 10?
I don't know.
19.
I don't remember. I don't know. Comics were weird in the 90s because there's all the spec age and everything. So I knew about it, but I never started reading them. But then I met.
What'd you read?
Oh, I think it was that.
Do you remember the first comic you got?
I think I do. I had a flip book between the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Savage Dragon because I was a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan.
Uh-huh.
That was I think that was my first fandom. That and Ghostbusters.
Okay.
I think you just used the term fandom.
I have weird feelings about that word. But I just use it. I thought it was appropriate.
Go.
And then then high school came around and I met LB, the great LB.
Uh-huh. We've talked about before. You used to work here.
Used to work here. Former employee LB Jones. Is a big comic fan. So then I remembered, my youth, how much I loved Batman the animated series and all that. So eventually, and then I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, as you guys keep making fun of me for. So, so I know he wrote comics. So
Now, do you prefer the View Askew period or the Smodco period?
It's all good.
Askew.
I don't know what that means.
The movies or the podcast?
Before he was a bloated bitch, or after he started smoking a lot of weed?
Right.
He's always been a bloated bitch, to be honest.
Oh, the movies are...
And by the way, we love Kevin Smith and he can sign here whenever he wants.
Oh, yes.
And if he's not too busy with his own show.
Yeah. He's got too many podcasts. Well, stall. But, So I read his Green Arrow run, his Daredevil, and I'm like, okay, this is, comics, get into it. And then, you guys opened, and LB and Waffle were hanging out here, so I bought Watchmen. So that was my first big comic book.
Good choice.
I read Watchmen because I knew the movie was coming out. I knew Alan Moore had a distaste for the way his comics were adapted into movies. So I'm like, I heard Watchmen was the big, most important, best comic. So I'm like, I'll buy it before the movie comes out, make a decision. So I think it's the second day you guys were open, I bought it, and that's brought me to CBJ. Oh, you like what I did there?
No, I'm sorry, I was just laughing at how it seems like every sentence you do, Socko just stuffs a bigger wad of pretzels into his mouth.
That's right. Socko is sponsored by Rolled Gold Pretzels, fat-free.
1 pound bag of sticks.
Which is the best pretzel.
But at that time, I still was only reading trades. And then issue-wise, I think I started reading Secret Invasion.
Good.
Secret Invasion, that's when you started picking up issues?
Yeah. And I love Bendis and Kirkman and Fraction.
Kenny has one of my favorite pull lists because he also, on it says, he has certain creators. So, anything by, Eric Powell, anything by...
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. I'm picking up all of Tiger's chewing on
Tiger's all on chewing them.
He's eating pretzels, but he's chewing them really loudly.
Fucker.
And they're all in my ears.
Sorry. No, sorry.
I love these pretzels. I can't get enough of you Americans. The Yankee pretzels. How do you twist these? It's amazing. It's delicious.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait. I think... No. That's it.
So, Secret Invasion was your intro into monthly comics?
Yes.
Even though it was a limited series.
Well, yeah. But then I got recommended to read Avengers Disassembled, House of M, Civil War, Secret War, and then then I got to start read New Avengers and whatever, just broken, to the
whatever.
Yeah,
well,
that's
I could say that's similar to me. I just started reading Flashpoint, and then I decided just to read everything DC put out.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I could have made that leap really fast.
Yeah, here's the part of the show once again where Ed makes it about himself.
Yeah, I mostly read Marvel now. I got into DC with Blackest Night.
That I have to say that's probably my favorite event of like the last 10 or 15 years.
I feel like it didn't have that much, like, because I wasn't too familiar with the DC Comics universe, so like all these people coming back, you know, from the dead. I didn't really. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I didn't really get it most of it, but it's still like a good story because I like Jeff Johns.
A lot of people got into DC through Blackest Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Sinestro Cold War.
Yeah, but most of the
Blackest Night was a huge draw.
Green Lantern is definitely the gateway drug.
Which is really funny that it's not Batman, Superman.
No, it is, but
a lot of people walk in through Batman mostly now.
Yeah.
I feel, but
now they are. Yeah.
But Blackest Night was insane.
But then Blackest Night.
So would you consider yourself a DC guy or a Marvel guy or what?
Kevin Smith guy.
Or just a comic guy?
Yeah, it's like general comics. I mean, now I find myself like it's more writers I'm attracted to, and then characters, because it's like there's so much the way. Like one creator will tell a story, and then another creator will take over, and you're like, this really didn't have like what I liked about this comic book sometimes.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I've always actually kind of wondered, are you pleased with the way that DC changed our whole universe in a splash page?
Yeah.
I feel like things go through revolutions. Every 10 or 15 years, you got to mix it up somehow. And I thought it was kind of early because Infinite Crisis had only happened. Yeah. It didn't really change the DCU that much.
Neither did Final.
Well, I don't think Final was meant to. And it was time. So and a lot of people are going to be upset. But to me, I saw it as a great opportunity. Whereas I kind of have a jump because I know what a lot of these characters are and who they used to be.
Yeah.
And it's an exact entry point where I can get in on the ground floor and see everything as it started.
Okay. I was asking more, do you find it funny that it was a splash page? It is now New 52!
Well, you have to do it somehow.
It's like all the flashes.
But that's what I mean, is it was literally like...
Pulled out of our ass.
That's one of my favorite things ever, the fucking cosmic treadmill.
Yeah. Oh, I love
hysterical.
I love that there are
is
comics...
Is this supposed to mean something? Like, did I miss
people
this?
freaking out for issues and issues, how to like travel time, blah, blah, blah. The Flash is a fucking piece of machinery that we all have in our houses.
Yeah, right.
That travels space and time.
Let me shoot this up.
Yeah. What was the name of it?
And I so wish someone would do a story where the wrong person runs on the cosmic treadmill and then
just dies. Nothing just died. They couldn't get it fast enough to make anything happen.
Yeah, just they fall down and then get spooled down and then end up in the medieval times and can't find their way back.
That'd be pretty cool.
You could dial each story out of it.
Yeah.
I have to say though, Kenny, when I asked you, I said, well, do you consider yourself a Marvel or a DC guy or just, and you said General Comics, I think that would be the perfect name for a shop if you ever owned it because you're so monotone and whatnot. I can think you answering the phone, General Comics. What do you guys have?
I just
General Comics.
Because when I think of that, I think like an army command, like General Comics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Lieutenant Sports Cards.
Right, well that was
the future.
I'm just a fan of a good story, and there's a lot of good storytelling in comic books.
You're right.
I second that.
And you don't have to visualize things with your mind because as an artist.
Yeah.
They make it easy.
I hate using my imagination.
Yeah. Novels.
It's all about what happens between the panels.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh my god.
I want to ask you guys a question because when I never read comics at home anymore now. I always read them here. But when I used to always have like my thing. Like I'd sit certain side of the couch, get myself a glass of something, turn on like soundtrack music, and like chill out. And I mean, does any of you guys have that habit? I don't.
Yeah.
Tag doesn't read at home either.
No.
So.
Video game music most of the time, like soundtracks, like a couple thousand random songs on shuffle, and just kind of specifically lay on my stomach on my bed and read everything I want to read.
Yeah.
And there's certain books I don't read here because I actually want to read it at home by myself. Oh yeah, I actually wear only socks. Only socks and gloves. Sometimes sunglasses.
Yeah. I used to be able to read listening to music, but now I find it harder.
Well, that's why it's only instrumental.
Yeah.
Only
you smoke too much pot.
Only instrumental.
Reading Comic Stone is hard because then you just forget. Like,
you're a fucking
what
idiot.
happened last month? No, I don't do it.
I would never get high.
I tried it
when
once
I
or
read
twice.
comics.
It's like,
No way.
Reading Stone is such a waste of
I remember everything about Hellboy when I...
Wait, did you hear what Kenny just said?
Was it such a waste?
Reading Stone is such a waste of weed.
Oh man, James Bukikio, please back me up on this until Tim Kennedy's stupid. But I don't know. That's my little ritual. It usually involves a couple hits of something beforehand.
Well, I always have a small stack. I usually just do what Waffle does without the music. I just, you know.
They just get the socks on. Lay on your stomach. Yeah.
Twiddling your feet back and forth.
I can't lay on my stomach and read.
I don't have a comfortable seat in my room.
I gotta sit down. Like a man.
I got a nice chair from IKEA.
Yeah, if I
put together myself.
You got what?
I got a nice chair from IKEA. I put together myself.
You got the crop lock?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't trust furniture.
The leather crop lock? Oh,
it's cloth and wood.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds extremely comfortable.
I don't trust chairs built by stone people. I've been in many of them who fall apart. My friend's couch squeaks
doing
as you
manual
sit
task with my hands. That's the specialty.
Whoa!
When under the influence.
Kenny smokes weed, builds furniture, and jerks off.
What else would you do?
It's flat in the moon.
There you go, baby.
Comics.
Aww.
No, but Socko, you also mentioned that when you used to get your comics, you put them in a certain order, like what you would read first, right?
I did.
You said that.
I have a specific order.
No, I don't.
Almost.
What I used to do is however they were in the bag
Is what
is how I would read them. However, whoever backed me up, sorry guys, I'm eating pretzels. Roll call since 1917.
Socko's going to be their first spokesman since Jason Alexander.
Really? Jason Alexander? Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yes, he's doing roll call commercials.
In my mind, it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But no, whatever order they were in, that's how I would read them. I wouldn't go through the bag and just reach in and pull out and be like, ooh, that's next, you know?
I pick which book I want to read last, and then everything else is whatever order it's in the stack. Like usually BPRD and Hellboy will be like either the first or the last thing I want to read, and then in whatever order. Like tonight, I'll probably go home and Dark Horse Presents will be the first thing. Yeah, because it's the biggest mouth.
That's good because I hear a lot of people they're like, I buy this book every month, but I don't even read it. It's like
I don't know.
Like why is it in the stack? Just
Tiger, what are you saying?
I'm not saying. What am I saying?
One to read and one for the.
When I hear somebody,
I think you should read it. I think you should buy it, read it, find out if you enjoy it, and if you don't enjoy it, go fuck yourself.
Right.
There you go.
When somebody tells me they have a stack of books that they're backed up on, I'm like, oh, I haven't read the last 3 issues of this. Take the half an hour of your day and read the 3 issues. Well, that's what I mean. I'm giving them ample time to go take a piss in the middle.
But people don't have ample time.
Sometimes, yeah. But so, Ed, are you ready to tell us about wonderful things that you can, commercials?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do our commercial segment.
Ed gets pumped up.
Ed speaks.
If you ever find yourself in the tri-state area, give us a visit. Every Wednesday, everything in the store is 10% off. And all #1 issues and first volume graphic novels are 20% off forever.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Comic Book Jones was recently voted the greatest around Staten Island, best comic shop of 2012. Dark Horse Comics fans have voted CBJ the best comic shop in all of NYC. Plus, we've been nominated for the Will Eisner Spirit of Comics Retailer Award each of the last 2 years. If you live in New York City and like buying digital comics, go screw yourself. But if you live somewhere else in the world, like California or Colorado or Calcutta, and you want to buy digital comics, just head to comicbookjones.com and click on the digital store tab. There you'll find links to Comixology and the DC Digital Store, and you can buy your comics and help us out at the same time. You can follow us on Twitter @comicbookjones. Like us on Facebook.com/comicbookjones. If you have any questions or topics you would like us to discuss on the show email is cbjpodcast@gmail.com. And quick reminder, if we read your email on the air, you get a coupon for 25% off your next purchase. Plus, the CBJ Podcast blog is cbjpodcast.blogspot.com. Tiger, what events do we have coming up?
We have the G.I. Joe tailgate party on
G.I. Joe
Thursday, March 28th, starting at 9 p.m.
Maybe they had a reshoot to add more, what's his name? Channing Tatum.
Well, I like to think that they was reshooting to make it more awesome.
I think that they were just fucking terrified to go up against Avengers, to be honest with you.
And they wanted to make it 3D.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Converted to 3D.
No, I actually will go with Socko's answer the most because any film from last summer is probably shitting itself after Avengers hit.
So we got that going on, and for those who haven't been there before, come down. We have some free drinks. We hang out. We got a sale going on, anything from 15 to 60% off everything in the store. So come down.
Tiger in a go-go cage.
We like to hang out with you after the hours.
Yeah.
And also, just kind of related, I just heard Jamie Foxx released a single song I heard on Jimmy Kimmel's show called "Chanting All Over Your Tatum."
Jamie Foxx did?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I saw it on Jimmy Kimmel's post-Oscar show.
Okay.
It was hysterical.
Why does Jimmy Kimmel have a post-Oscar show?
Because it's hysterical. I've watched it the last couple of years. It's actually really funny.
So is he like Joan Rivers, only not a piece of shit?
No, actually.
He
makes Joan Rivers.
Listen, not for nothing, Waffle.
No,
I'm actually pretty good friends with Joan. So
she makes some pretty direct comments of people that don't need to be slandered.
I agree with this.
She called Adele. I know. She called Adele really fat, which was really funny because the response to that comment was, "How many times have people cut up your fucking face?
Mm-hmm.
You hate yourself that much? Mm-hmm. Okay, Joan. Mm-hmm. She's fat, I guess, right?" And there's the hatred. I'm gonna drink the rest of my beer.
Joan Rivers would be,
yeah.
Mentioned on the podcast.
I think we should be 25 on the list. It's a ridiculous topic that comes up.
Waffle, I think you should take a drink.
I'm gonna take a drink because I was an asshole.
Because I was an asshole.
First step to solving problems, admitting you have one.
Yeah.
Let's not forget our picks for the next week.
Well, I picked East to West #1, which I really don't remember what it's about.
Is that Hickman's book?
Interested in it because it's a new #1 from Image.
Cool.
I'm going to tell you a couple things that I'm excited about. I'm excited about Fury Max. Next issue of that comes out. Fucking awesome. And I'm also very excited about Goon issue 44. That's finally coming out next week. It's awesome. I'm not going to get into depth explaining the books. I've picked them both before. So if you haven't checked them out yet, you're lost.
That's great. We'll get one pick, so.
Well, I get two.
I want to go to check out BPRD Vampire #1.
Who?
BPRD Vampire.
Oh.
Gabriel Moon and Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba. I'm sorry. Hitting up BPRD, which I think is a little out of continuity.
Really?
Which means anybody can grab this #1. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me, because there's a lot of shit going down in the normal BPRD title. You know, End of the World's Coming. Yada yada yada. If you're reading it, if you're not reading it, you should really.
What's the last thing they worked on was what?
The last thing they worked on together?
Yeah. Was it Umbrella Academy?
Day Tripper. He was Day Tripper.
Yeah.
Umbrella Academy, I think. Only,
that was only Ba.
Yeah.
Ba and Gerard.
Oh yeah, right.
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical
Problem. And then they alternate on Casanova.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wish My Chemical Romance would make a really bad album and like sync, like bad for their fans, so he could just go right back to writing comics.
Right.
I love.
He's much better at comics than he is at music.
No, his lyrics are always really good. It's just the things surrounding them.
Oh well, no.
Yeah, if anyone out there has an Umbrella Academy, definitely get up on it.
Or Day Tripper.
Or Day Tripper. Day Tripper's fantastic.
Well, Day Tripper's nothing to do with Jordan.
No.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it'll get your mind off the set.
Day Tripper's Ba Moon, so.
So,
Ba Moon.
What's your pick, Ed?
Time Warp #1, which is a Vertigo one-shot.
Really?
Vertigo's been doing this thing. It seems like they do once every few months, where they'll put like
a prestige format.
Yeah, it'll just be like a $7.99 one-shot of a bunch of random stories. Like the last one was Mystery in Space.
I know.
Well, just so you know, a thin square-bound book that's $7.99 is a prestige format book.
Okay.
It's usually it's like a one-off story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just so you know.
It looks like a mini trade.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Dark Horse Presents.
Yeah.
But and they've got a bunch of really cool writers. I think Lemire's writing one, Snyder's writing one.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Johns.
No, there's I think an American Vampire short story. Is that part of that? I think that's supposed to wet your whistle for the year break, because there's supposed to be a little bit of American Vampire from Snyder. Mm-hmm. Lemire, I don't know what that could possibly be about at this point.
I think Lemire might be writing a Rip Hunter story.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Is it Vertigo? Like, why would there be a Rip Hunter
Vertigo
title?
It's a Vertigo title because I guess there's some kind of mature element to it, or maybe they just don't want to make it part of DC proper.
There you go. That I can honestly see, because has Rip showed up in DC 52?
No.
Okay. Well, that's...
No, yeah, he definitely hasn't.
Yeah. Well, Booster's gone too, right?
Booster disappeared mysteriously, screaming something at someone he couldn't see.
And there's the entrance of Rip Hunter into the DC-52.
Oh wait, when was that? Was that
JLI.
That was in JLI.
The Justice League International Annual.
Yes.
Which was the last issue of JLI.
So right now, Booster is just.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
Although they've said that he will be making an appearance in what is no longer called WTF Certified Month.
Yeah. Booster is like Ozzie Smith in the pit of like the Springfield Mystery Spot. Ooh! The E equals MC squared floats by.
That's awesome!
So sorry, what's your favorite Simpsons moment?
Woo!
Too many.
Yeah.
Wait, Ken the Hen, do you have a pick for next week?
I gave a woo, by the way.
Yeah.
No, I don't have my comics.
Thank you, Shiebel.
Ken has a lot of books here that he hasn't even touched.
Yeah. Kenny used to be here every Wednesday like clockwork, and then
quote unquote life.
What happened?
I lost my soul to a toll collecting job.
It's hard to sit in a booth.
Yeah, I got to a cocoon of I don't know.
I hear that pays really well though.
It does, but the thing is like you don't know if you can get stuck for up to 4 hours or 8 hours, so you could like work 16 hours in a shift. And I
Wait, what do you mean you can get stuck?
Like if someone doesn't show up, they use this to fill a spot. So you can stay you have to stay at least 4 hours of overtime or for...
So you have no choice?
Yeah, it's against your will. And if you refuse, they can fire you.
It's against your will.
Yeah.
And if you refuse, they can fire you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I kind of isolated myself in a masturbation with marijuana and humbling.
In the toll booth?
No, when I wasn't working. When I wasn't working, just to like get through the day.
Because I would have gone over the Verrazano just to see that.
No, but I did listen to you guys in the booth a couple of times.
Kenny's definitely heard my passing Jew as I've driven by like at like 2 in the morning.
Or he'll text me like, yeah, just pass him. Like, why didn't you yell anything?
Yeah, because my friends all have Easy Pass, and we're all literally always in the
Yeah.
fucking lane next to Kenny taking tolls.
I know, but I'm always like looking just like blankly. Like,
But what?
Yeah.
So where are you? What toll booth?
Verrazano.
Oh, I was at the Verrazano.
Okay. See, I have Easy Pass, so I don't see it. Yeah.
Everyone should get Easy Pass.
I'm just gonna start paying. I'm gonna start paying and
Kenny.
playing.
Well, no,
Kenny
my job's over now.
You got fired?
No, it was temporary for a year.
And what do you do now?
Smoking weed, masturbating,
Yeah.
on the tumbler.
Getting back in touch with people.
So that means that short box of comics is never getting picked up?
No.
You don't have a
I have a
job?
pile of cash right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I saved some money. Yeah, all the money I didn't spend on comics is still it's waiting.
We'll look forward to
Future purchases.
Your patronage. Your future patronage. Fucking weasel.
I love you guys.
Love you too.
Cool.
All right, so what?
Yeah, Waffle, he said cool.
Cool.
By the end of the podcast, I would probably be polishing off the 4th beer.
Well, I think
Which isn't that crazy.
We're pretty close to the end, so
It's not bad at all, actually.
Yeah, that's a decent amount for like the...
Waffle, so he said Q 4 times, and I just said it twice.
He said 4 times?
Yeah,
So I'm just going to finish the beer.
Finish the beer, yeah. There you go.
All right.
There you go. That's Waffle finishes the beer. Waffle has a very small uvula, and that's why he can't chug. It's not like a Kermit the Frog uvula, which is a future Socko topic.
Is that the thing that hangs down at the back of your throat?
Absolutely.
It's the punch
Very
thing.
good.
So now that we're all pumped up inside, and I'm going to start recording now.
Thanks, Ed.
How long have you been holding on to that joke?
Like 3 weeks.
He's too low letter. What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, Office Space. Office Space.
Yeah.
I get that reference.
Can you make the outro now? Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Yeah, fucking like me.
It's all about Tiger.
Thank you so much.
Nope.
Kieran, believe.
Yeah,
One day.
WCBJ.
Enough already, Kieran.
Signing off.
No. Yeah, I thought I'd go through more.
I think Socko took me seriously when I said I'd probably just stop drinking if
How we doing?
you're gonna do it on purpose.
I don't see it.
I poured over here.
Why doesn't anybody believe Tiger?
What'd you do, Matt?
I think we're going
I'm looking at that on me.
I trust you. Socko picked. Why is it little? It's the same size as every other figure that they put out. It's just the package is different.
Find it?
No.
Do you remember what you picked?
Genuine on the
I
side.
can't remember what I picked.
She was. Oh, you got that class.
Okay.
Why am I stuttering so much?
I'm so nervous. Then drained it.
It's not over here. It's so odd. I really don't know where it is.
Don't worry about it.
What?
You remember what we picked?
Okay. I will. No, I know what it is.
Okay.
But I'll make up a book that doesn't exist.
All right, I'm going.